What's really good, fam? It is your boy, David, brand new, back with another video for you. And today, I'm gonna show you guys how to change a flat tire on the Friend electric bike. So let's just get into the joint. First thing that you want to do, you want to flip the bike upside down. We have these mirrors on here and the screen is right here. You don't want to mess it up, so we're going to go ahead and fold the handlebars down. Undo the hatch and they fold right down. All right.
You got this.
Lay it flat.
Okay.
Daddy, help him.
So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to unplug this motor cable and you just pull it, okay? There's also a zip tie that you're going to want to cut as well. Be careful not to cut the actual wire. Next, you're going to take this cover off of this lug nut. That sounds so cool. So in order to take off the rear tire, you need to remove this lug nut and you're going to need an 18mm wrench. You're gonna unscrew this one enough to get this derailleur guard off because you don't want this in the way. All right, same thing on the other side. What I like to do is I like to use a little towel and just put it over the frame because you don't want the chain to scratch up the frame. All right, guys, so everything is loosened. Now we can go ahead and take the rim out. So you're just gonna go ahead and lift. And then get this side, Jane, because this side is the tricky one. Just take note to how the gears are on the chain. You're gonna just lift it straight up, get the chain off of there, and then you just lift it right out. Here we go. Now that the rear wheel is off, first thing that you want to do is unscrew this little cap. Now we're going to go ahead and get the lip of the tire right over the rim, okay? Now you can use tire levers, that's going to be way easier. I like to use my fingers because, you know, who cares about fingers? But you're just going to go around and just slowly start to pull the lip up. And then as you go around, it gets easier. So now look. Boom. Boom. Easy. Now that you got the one side lifted up, all you gotta do is just reach in there and get this inner tube out. The problem with this inner tube is that it had a leak at the stem. So normally if you just had a flat and it was somewhere on like the side of the inner tube or something like that, you don't actually have to take the whole tire off. You can literally just pull the inner tube out a little bit, patch it, and then put it back in. But in this case, we need a completely new inner tube. So that's why we're taking everything off. Because I mean, it's a tire changing video. You gotta make it entertaining somehow, right? Ready? In my head, it looked different.
Let's do another one. Come on.
I'm gonna show you guys how to locate where the actual puncture is, okay? So first you wanna do is inflate the inner tube. So if it's a small puncture, you won't be able to tell. It might seem good, but I'll show you guys how to test it out. So you wanna fill up a bucket with water, and then you're gonna place the inner tube under the water. And you're just gonna go in sections and just wait for bubbles to show. And if there's no bubbles, that means there's no puncture in that section. And there it is. So check it out. I thought it was on the actual stem. It's on the bottom side. So I think we can actually save this tube. If the tube is savable, you guys can patch it. If you guys want to know how to patch a tire, I did make a video on that. I will link it in the description down below, as well as leave it at the end of this video. Check it out. For the sake of this video, this one's already patched, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Next step is you want to check the location where you got the puncture and make sure there's nothing still lingering in there. So it was somewhere around this area. Boom, we found the culprit. Looks like a nail. Oh, wow, yeah. Look in here. Look at it. That's what it looks like inside. That's crazy. All right, well, yeah, so make sure you find the culprit first, because if you stick the tube back in there, you're gonna get another flat. Next, we're going to deflate the inner tube. You're gonna take a flathead screwdriver and push down on the center of the stem. You're gonna locate the hole where the stem is supposed to go in. You're not gonna actually put the stem in yet. Just put it where it's supposed to go. Now you're gonna tuck the tube around the rim. Now you can stick the stem through the hole. And then you're gonna put the cap back on just to lock it in place. Now we're going to reinstall the tire onto the rim. So in order to do that, you're just going to use 2 thumbs and just push it over the lip and just keep going around. Now this part is easy until you get to the final push down. All right, so this part is going to take some strength. If you need some help, feel free to ask your strong father with manly hands, but I think we got it. Oh, that was easy. Now you want to reinflate the tire just to make sure there's no problems. The proper PSI is going to be 30 PSI. You know, with these fat tires, you can go as low as, like, I believe 15 if you're riding on sand, but we don't ride on sand, so we're going to inflate it to 30 PSI. Now you just want to go around the rim and make sure it's properly seated in there. Sometimes you'll see that it bulges out a little bit. In that case, you want to re-deflate the tire, fix the tube around, and then try re-inflating it again. But it looks like everything is properly seated, so let's go ahead and slap it on the bike. Before we put it back onto the bike, you want to take the side that has the disc brake. You're going to take the this lug nut and the washer off, just so it doesn't get in the way. Get a close up on this, Jane. On this axle, it has a rounded side, and then it has a flat side on this side, and then the other side is also flat. Now, if you look at your dropouts, it's not a complete circle. So here's the rounded side, and then the 2 sides that are flat. So you want to line your axle up with that. So it's gonna look something like this. So first, we're going to get around the chain like that, and then you're gonna set it down on the chain. Now it doesn't matter what gear it's on. We'll get that right once we actually flip the bike back over. And then you're just gonna drop it down. In the drop bar. On the other side, you just want to make sure that this disc actually falls right inside the brake pad. If you guys can see, sometimes the brake pads move around when you take it off, so make sure it just falls right in there. Okay, and now everything is in. We can go ahead and tighten these bolts over here. Over here, don't forget your derailleur guard. So that's gonna go back around the axle. Like that. And then you just go ahead and tighten this by hand. And then you're gonna get the 18mm wrench and then go ahead and tighten it fully. And then your derailleur guard should lock into place. Now we're gonna put the cover back over It goes like that. This cutout is facing downwards to the ground when the bike is flipped over, if that makes sense. And then this gets plugged back in, and if you notice, it has arrows on here. So here's an arrow on this one, and there's an arrow on that one. So you want to line the arrows up like this. Boom, boom. Then you're gonna get a zip tie and zip tie it back down. Now we're gonna cut the zip tie. Don't want that getting in the way. All right, guys, that's how you change a flat tire on the Fran electric bike. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing, and hopefully you guys were able to follow along. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button if your boy helped you out, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until the next video, deuces like that.